Chugga 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 ch. Choo choo. Kek filet TCG. Florida Test Regional and what to expect. It's a great day here at Kek Filet's YouTube channel. I am the Kek Filet, and today my video is actually about my Florida Test Regional that I did go to this last weekend in Oviedo, my first time in Florida. And before I get this video started, I first wanted to say thank you all so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I did just pass 1,000 subscribers. I remember I had like 300 subscribers. It felt like a bigger deal to me than this right now. I just want to keep this going and go through these videos. I may try to get this monetized, etc., etc. But in case you think this video is going to be monetized, it's not yet. So that's just where we're going with things. In Florida, I did play in that test regional. There was 8 rounds, and I did play Reiju. With the test regional, I did want to talk about the TO versus. I didn't have a chance to talk to any like staff or anything like that, but I'll commentate on the venue and specifically how the games went and how the tournament ran. Ben Ferris, the head judge, talked to me at some point in the middle of it, asking how I'm doing and how I'm enjoying everything. And one thing I said was, I have no complaints. And that's actually really, really big, having 0 complaints about a tournament. Start to finish, the tournament, 1, was communicative. 2, started on time. 3, the rounds ran fast. They did have a lunch, which was just fine. I think a lot of people were very hungry, and they had a food court. The bathroom felt like about a quarter-mile walk, and that wasn't too terrible. Realistically, looking at it, the venue had low ceilings. It just felt like a bigger local. That's what the feeling felt like. The chairs were fine. No one stank like card gamers. And the temperature was just fine, maybe a little bit warm. I guess if I was to actually comment and complain about anything, number 1, I don't like that there is a wait list where it's first in, first come, first serve, just because there are people that are willing to, stay as long as possible overnight. And I'm not sure if that happened here, but people getting there at like 5 in the morning, that can't be good when a tournament starts at 10, because that's 5 hours they're just waiting when they can be resting. And when they play their 8 rounds, they're not going to be at peak performance. I have a personal preference of some other kind of system, but that's just one small thing. Another thing is they had speakers that were right in the front. It makes sense to have speakers right there, but if you were to hang out, and it seemed like a very common hanging out area, it was just very, very, very loud. And number 3, big suggestion, is side events. They did have side events. You do pay with a debit card instead of using a QR code. I personally love how Core TC does theirs, where you just scan this and it just does it. And one thing, and I am guilty of this, okay? I went to go do side events. They have a list roster of people signing up, and that can be pretty intimidating. You kind of already know what people are playing, and I was trying to queue dodge people that were playing decks I don't like to play against. And I was like, wow, I am super lame for doing this. Maybe I'll just play casual games while I wait, which that is what I did. But without further ado, let's actually jump into my tournament. I ended up playing Reiju. I did change my deck up from Texas to include 4 pudding. I think it's very good against Black Yellow Luffy. Spoiler, I did not play against any Black Yellow Luffy this tournament. It does do well against Sakazuki, but essentially it felt like more of a different kind of card this time. But I don't exactly regret, using it for this regional. Round 1, I faced against a Gecko Maria. He did win the dice roll and chose to go second. I think going first is actually better if you're playing Gecko Maria, especially in this matchup. And I would choose to go first in that matchup as Reiju, just to deny them going first. Regardless, he actually had a very good setup for his turns, and he did make one mistake, is when he played it as 8 cost Moria on 8 Dawn, he decided to play out a 4 cost Borsellino, and I just bounced that back to his hand. Honestly, if he just played anything else like a Kuzan or maybe even a Hogback, and Hogbacking, grabbing a card from his trash like a 2K, I think that would have been a lot more value rather than doing the Borsellino, because I just put that back to his hand because I did a judge turn the following turn. Really, it was a very slow game. He countered out of everything. His first Gecko turn was not amazing because he chose Borsellino, and I was able to kill his first Gecko and win by about 2K counter. It was a lot closer than I wanted, but I essentially won by 2K counter there. I also forgot to bring any loser Dawn this event. I did have one because I did promise him a gift. I didn't give anybody else one, so I'm so sorry if you faced me and I didn't give you one, but I'll try to see what I can do about the next events. Round 2, I do face against Sakazuki, and this was honestly the funnest game I had here. It was super jank, and essentially what happened here is I puddinged him, and he made a really early mistake. After I puddinged him, he attacked for 5k, I guarded out with 1k, and then he puddinged me. So he could have puddinged the 7-drop hand and then attacked me twice for 5, but instead he attacked me for 5. I guarded out. It was a mistake. He was making a few mistakes there. And then after that point, we had a really janky game. I think at some point I had 4 7-cost ECGs in my trash, but with no 4-drop to be seen at all. And I ended up getting, I would say it was a narrow win, but it was such a jank game because we puddinged each other this game. I did end up drawing a whole lot of cards by spamming Queen and the 4-cost Reiju, which is just a super good combo in general. Round 3, I end up facing a Spirit 2. He's playing Gecko Moria. I actually lose this game, and honestly, he played this very well. He's actually a patron, and he drew so many 2K counters. I wasn't even able to get judged down quick enough, and I had a very late stage to put down. So my stage was super late, and my issue was that early game I was using these 2-cost Reijus to call out 4-cost Reijus to draw a ton of cards, and that ended up making my judge a little late. And at one point he did swing with his leader and ditch a card. He's hoping for an Absalom, and he ended up milling the Absalom so he can KO one of my targets. So that was pretty lucky on that end. And then essentially he won by about 2K counter. I actually mismathed the end. I actually learned something from this game as far as how attacking goes. But congrats to Spirit 2. I believe he got top 64 in this event. And I continue on being 2 wins, 1 loss. Round 4, I face another Gecko Moria. I actually face another Will to Win patron. And essentially, he's playing Gecko Moria. He played very optimally every turn, and he just had more value than me. I judged at an okay time, but I wish I could have drew a little bit better early. I felt I got down to early life pretty low, and I wasn't able to actually pressure him out there. I would like to say this game was a landslide in his favor, but it felt a little closer, but it was more of a landslide in his favor. So I continue on to round 5, being 2-2. Round 5, I end up facing another Gecko Moria, and it's kind of funny. I do mention this. A lot of people do know who I am. I am not sure if this guy knew who I was until after the game, but essentially, this Gecko Moria, he had a super great opener, but he had no Gecko Moria on curve. And I ended up almost destroying the game by playing kind of a wrong card, and I was actually ended up being 2K counter close. I actually could have lost this game if I made another mistake, but other than that, I just think this is unlucky. My opponent just did not see a 8-cost Moria. Otherwise, the game was pretty much in his favor most of the time, and that's just essentially unlucky on his end. And then I go over to round 6. I'm 3 wins, 2 losses. I'm just trying to hold on for this. I face this Katakuri player, and essentially, I did lose this game. So at 3-3, I did drop right after this, actually. And I didn't see Niji early game. Niji's the bouncer card that bounces a 4 cost. And I just had overall insanely terrible early curve. And he played really well. He had like 1 trigger. I only really did 2 damage to him. And I did drop, and essentially I just tried to have fun with the rest of the day. I did not do any side events. It seemed like it was going to take a lot of time, and I just decided to play some games with Cross. I got to also meet Chris from Small Hat Crew, and I also got this awesome little device here. It's a top loader, and in the back it has some silly pirate name, and it's pretty cool. It has all these animatronics on it. I think people are looking forward to the sound top loaders coming out soon in Japan, and people are already making their own custom ones here. Next, actually, I wanted to review my One Piece Money Manager. This is my personal one. I do have to update some things on here and how things have been, but essentially I did update how much I paid for my Texas flights, Texas hotel, my Florida flight, my Florida hotel, and I had a couple other expenses. I had Uber and Florida food, but I had some other things, you know, comped because how much someone was covering for me on the other end. But essentially, you can see how much I was spent here. My participation, I would say the value is about $63. Is what I got from participation on this end. I didn't do top 64, so I didn't get anything out of that. I did go over my Texas flight and hotels, and I want to say that I also did bring my girlfriend here. So with that, you know, I'm eating this cost here, but generally that's how much it may cost for you to travel with somebody. But if you really want to, you can divide that by half so you can have an idea. And I'm already starting to go through my collection, how much this is worth, like being my boxes, or even how much my Johns or my collection's worth, just to see if I needed to ever go liquid with it and see where that goes. But essentially the value I have and what I'm getting out of these tournaments going forward. I also want to ask you guys about the next steps into this money manager. I am going to be having a going pro video where it'll be talking about resources. And I want to know where you guys go to get your resources, things like your deck lists, or even your training, or any kind of media where you jump over to in order to become a great player. And right around the corner is actually EB01. I'm actually not quite sure what we're going to be doing for EB01. I'm thinking more leaning toward like a Nell, but that is yet to be seen. But essentially, that's it for the video. I want to ask you guys, please leave a comment down below. Let me know how your spreadsheets are going so far. And what's your next event you're going to? I am going to be going to Los Angeles. Come up, say hi, get a selfie with me. I'm going to be there having lots of fun. The next events I'm actually doing is the 4th, 11th, and the 18th of May, all online tournaments. I will be playing those, and I'll be live streaming, so make sure you guys check out twitch.tv/kekfilet. I may even multi-stream it toward my YouTube here. Yeah, I want to say thank you all so much for watching this video.
Make sure you all hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video. Ciao.